Nuclear energy has powered cities and advanced technology, but its history is marked by catastrophic disasters. Today, we're counting down the top 5 deadliest nuclear disasters that shook the world. From secret Soviet explosions to modern-day meltdowns, these events change how we view nuclear power forever. As we journey through each disaster, consider which one you think is the most shocking. Let's begin our countdown with number 5 and see how each incident left a lasting mark on history. Our countdown starts in the United States at the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania. In 1979, a combination of mechanical failures and human mistakes led to a partial core meltdown. Although no deaths were directly linked to the accident, the event sent shockwaves through the public and the nuclear industry. Confidence in nuclear safety plummeted, and new regulations soon followed. The incident raised a critical question: would you feel safe living near a nuclear plant after such a scare? The aftermath of 3 Mile Island was felt far beyond Pennsylvania. Across the United States and around the world, people began to question the safety of nuclear power. The government responded with stricter safety protocols and more transparent communication. Yet, the psychological impact lingered, with many communities opposing new nuclear projects. This disaster became a turning point in the global conversation about nuclear energy, highlighting the delicate balance between technological progress and public trust. Next, we travel to the United Kingdom, where the Windscale Fire of 1957 marked Britain's worst nuclear accident. The reactor, originally built for weapons production, caught fire and burned for 3 days. Radioactive iodine was released into the atmosphere, contaminating the surrounding countryside. The disaster even tainted local milk supplies, forcing authorities to destroy hundreds of thousands of liters. The Windscale Fire exposed the risks of using nuclear technology for military purposes and left a legacy of environmental concern. Windscale Fire's radioactive plume spread across Britain, raising fears about long-term health effects. The government responded by introducing new safety measures and monitoring programs. For many, the disaster was a wake-up call about the hidden dangers of nuclear facilities, especially those involved in weapons production. The event also sparked debates about transparency and public safety, as the full extent of the contamination was not immediately revealed to the public. Countdown continues in the Soviet Union at the Mayak facility near Kyshtym. In 1957, a massive explosion rocked the site, releasing a cloud of radioactive material over a vast area. More than 10,000 people were evacuated, but the Soviet government kept the disaster secret for decades. The world only learned about the Kyshtym disaster years later, when Western scientists detected unusual radiation levels. This event remains one of the least known but most severe nuclear accidents in history. Kyshtym disaster secrecy had devastating consequences. Residents were evacuated with little explanation, and many suffered from radiation exposure. The contaminated area, known as the East Ural radioactive trace, remains hazardous to this day. The Soviet government's decision to hide the disaster raised ethical questions about transparency and public safety. Should governments ever conceal such critical information from their citizens? The Kyshtym disaster serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of secrecy in times of crisis. 2011, Japan faced a disaster of unprecedented scale at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. A powerful 9-magnitude earthquake triggered a massive tsunami which overwhelmed the plant's defenses. 3 reactors suffered meltdowns, releasing radioactive material into the Pacific Ocean. The disaster forced the evacuation of 150,000 people, and even today, large areas remain off-limits due to contamination. Fukushima became a symbol of how natural disasters can trigger technological catastrophes. Aftermath of Fukushima was felt around the world. Japan launched an enormous cleanup effort, but the challenges of decontaminating land and water persist. The disaster reignited debates about nuclear safety, especially in regions prone to earthquakes and tsunamis. Many countries reviewed their own nuclear policies, and some even decided to phase out nuclear power altogether. Fukushima's legacy is a sobering reminder of the unpredictable risks that come with harnessing nuclear energy. Number 1, we arrive at the Chernobyl disaster of 1986, the most infamous nuclear accident in history. During a late-night safety test, Reactor 4 exploded, releasing a massive amount of radioactive material across Europe. The nearby city of Pripyat was evacuated, and the area became a ghost town overnight. Chernobyl's radioactive fallout affected millions, and the disaster's health and environmental impacts are still being studied today. The name Chernobyl has become synonymous with nuclear tragedy. Pripyat, once a thriving city, now stands frozen in time. Buildings are abandoned, playgrounds are empty, and nature has begun to reclaim the land. The haunting silence of Pripyat serves as a powerful reminder of the disaster's human cost. Tourists now visit the exclusion zone, drawn by curiosity in the eerie atmosphere. Would you dare to walk the deserted streets of Chernobyl's ghost city? The legacy of Chernobyl continues to fascinate and warn future generations. Nuclear energy offers immense benefits, from clean electricity to medical advancements. Yet as these disasters show, the risks are significant. Each incident forced governments and scientists to rethink safety protocols and emergency preparedness. The balance between harnessing nuclear power and ensuring public safety remains a global challenge. As technology advances, the lessons from these tragedies guide us toward a safer future, but the shadow of past disasters still looms large. Let's take a closer look at 3 Mile Island. The accident began with a minor malfunction, but a series of miscommunications and errors escalated the situation. Operators struggled to interpret confusing control room signals, leading to the partial meltdown of the reactor core. Although the containment structure prevented a major release of radiation, the psychological impact was profound. The event became a case study in crisis management and the importance of clear communication in high-stress environments. During the Windscale Fire, workers risked their lives to contain the blaze. For 3 days, they battled intense heat and radiation, using water and carbon dioxide to cool the reactor. Their bravery prevented an even greater catastrophe, but many suffered long-term health effects. The incident highlighted the need for robust emergency procedures and protective equipment for nuclear workers. Windscale's legacy is a testament to the courage and sacrifice of those who responded to the crisis. After the Kyshtym explosion, authorities created a vast exclusion zone to contain the radioactive contamination. Entire villages were evacuated, and the landscape was forever altered. The East Ural radioactive trace remains one of the most polluted areas on Earth. For decades, the true scale of the disaster was unknown, as the Soviet government suppressed information. The Kyshtym disaster is a chilling example of how secrecy can worsen the impact of a nuclear accident. Fukushima disaster began with a natural event, a massive earthquake and tsunami. The plant's defenses were overwhelmed, and backup generators failed, leading to a loss of cooling in 3 reactors. The combination of natural and technological failures made the situation especially challenging. The disaster underscored the importance of preparing for multiple, simultaneous threats and the need for resilient infrastructure in vulnerable regions. Explosion at Chernobyl's Reactor 4 was caused by a flawed safety test and critical design weaknesses. The force of the blast blew the reactor's roof off, exposing the core to the atmosphere. Firefighters and plant workers rushed to contain the disaster, but many were exposed to lethal doses of radiation. The immediate response saved countless lives, but the long-term consequences were devastating. Chernobyl's explosion remains a defining moment in nuclear history. The years following 3 Mile Island, the nuclear industry underwent significant changes. New safety protocols were introduced and operator training was improved. The accident also led to greater transparency and public involvement in nuclear decision-making. While the plant's second reactor continued to operate for decades, the legacy of the accident shaped the future of nuclear power in the United States and beyond. Environmental impact of the Windscale fire was significant. Radioactive contamination affected farmland, rivers, and the food supply. The government implemented widespread monitoring and cleanup efforts, but concerns about long-term health effects persisted. The disaster prompted new regulations for handling radioactive materials and improved safety standards for nuclear facilities across the UK. Kyshtym disaster remained a secret until Western scientists detected unexplained radiation in the atmosphere. The revelation shocked the international community and raised concerns about the safety of Soviet nuclear facilities. The incident highlighted the importance of global cooperation and information sharing in managing nuclear risks. Today, Kyshtym is a case study in the dangers of secrecy and the need for transparency in nuclear operation. More than a decade after the Fukushima disaster, Japan continues to face enormous challenges. Decommissioning the damaged reactors is a complex and costly process, and the safe disposal of radioactive water remains a contentious issue. The disaster also had a profound impact on Japan's energy policy, leading to a shift away from nuclear power and increased investment in renewable energy sources. Long-term effects of the Chernobyl disaster are still being studied. Thousands of people developed health problems, including thyroid cancer and other radiation-related illnesses. The environment around Chernobyl remains contaminated, and the exclusion zone is a stark reminder of the disaster's enduring legacy. Scientists continue to monitor the area, studying the impact of radiation on wildlife and ecosystems. Public response to 3 Mile Island was immediate and intense. Protests erupted across the country, and many people demanded the closure of nuclear plants. The incident became a rallying point for the anti-nuclear movement, influencing public opinion and government policy for years to come. The legacy of 3 Mile Island is a testament to the power of public engagement in shaping energy policy. Windscale Fire taught valuable lessons about the importance of safety culture and risk management in nuclear facilities. The disaster led to the development of new fire prevention systems and improved reactor designs. These changes helped prevent similar accidents in the future and contributed to the evolution of nuclear safety standards worldwide. Human impact of the Kyshtym disaster was severe. Thousands of people were forced to leave their homes and many suffered from radiation sickness. The lack of information and support made the situation even more traumatic. Survivors faced long-term health problems and social stigma, while the affected regions struggled to recover. The disaster remains a painful chapter in the history of nuclear energy. Fukushima disaster had a global impact, prompting countries around the world to review their nuclear safety standards. Some nations, like Germany, decided to phase out nuclear power entirely, while others invested in new safety technologies. The event sparked renewed debates about the role of nuclear energy in a changing world, highlighting the need for robust disaster preparedness and international cooperation. Chernobyl exclusion zone covers more than 2,600 square kilometers, making it one of the largest radioactive areas on Earth. Access is strictly controlled, but scientists and workers continue to monitor the site. The zone has become an unlikely haven for wildlife, with some species thriving in the absence of humans. Chernobyl's exclusion zone is a unique laboratory for studying the long-term effects of radiation on ecosystems. Media coverage of 3 Mile Island played a crucial role in shaping public perception. News reports and documentaries brought the story into living rooms across America, fueling anxiety and debate. The incident highlighted the importance of accurate information and responsible journalism during a crisis. The way the media covered 3 Mile Island set a precedent for reporting on future nuclear accidents. After the disaster, the Windscale site was renamed Sellafield in an effort to distance it from the accident. The rebranding reflected a desire to move forward, but the memory of the fire lingers. Sellafield remains a major nuclear facility, with ongoing efforts to manage and clean up radioactive waste. The name change is a reminder of how disasters can shape public memory and institutional identity. Environmental legacy of the Kyshtym disaster is profound. The contaminated region remains hazardous, with high levels of radiation in soil and water. Efforts to clean up the area have been slow and challenging, and the long-term effects on local ecosystems are still being studied. The disaster serves as a cautionary tale about the lasting impact of nuclear accidents on the environment. Behind the headlines, the Fukushima disaster is a story of human resilience. Thousands of families were uprooted, and communities faced the challenge of rebuilding their lives. Volunteers and workers risked their health to stabilize the reactors and support evacuees. The disaster brought out both the best and the worst in society, highlighting the importance of compassion and solidarity in times of crisis. Chernobyl has left a deep mark on popular culture, inspiring books, films, and television series. The disaster's haunting imagery and powerful stories continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Chernobyl's legacy is not just scientific or environmental, it's also cultural, shaping how we think about technology, risk, and human error. Nuclear industry learned hard lessons from 3 Mile Island. Improved reactor designs, better training, and enhanced safety systems became standard. The accident also led to the creation of independent oversight bodies to ensure accountability. These changes have helped reduce the risk of future accidents, but the memory of 3 Mile Island continues to influence industry practices. Windscale Fire raised serious concerns about public health. Studies have linked the disaster to increased rates of cancer and other illnesses in the surrounding area. The event underscored the need for ongoing health monitoring and support for affected communities. Public health remains a top priority in the aftermath of nuclear accidents. Lessons of Kyshtym are more relevant than ever. Transparency, emergency preparedness, and international cooperation are essential for managing nuclear risks. The disaster reminds us that the consequences of secrecy can be severe, and that open communication is key to protecting public safety. As nuclear technology continues to evolve, the story of Kyshtym remains a powerful warning. Efforts to restore the environment around Fukushima are ongoing. Decontamination teams work tirelessly to remove radioactive material from soil and water. Some areas have been reopened, but others remain off-limits. The recovery process is slow and complex, requiring advanced technology and international collaboration. Fukushima's environmental recovery is a testament to human determination in the face of adversity. Contain the radioactive remains of Reactor 4, engineers built a massive concrete structure known as the sarcophagus. Decades later, a new steel shelter was constructed to further secure the site. These engineering feats are among the largest containment projects in history, designed to prevent the release of radioactive material for generations to come. The legacy of 3 Mile Island is complex. While the accident caused no direct deaths, its psychological and political impact was immense. The event reshaped the nuclear industry and public attitudes toward nuclear power. Today, 3 Mile Island stands as a symbol of both the potential and the peril of nuclear energy. Despite its troubled history, the Windscale site, now Sellafield, remains a hub of nuclear activity. The facility handles nuclear waste and supports research into new technologies. Ongoing operations are closely monitored to ensure safety and prevent future accidents. The story of Windscale is a reminder that the challenges of nuclear energy are ongoing and require constant vigilance. Many of the victims of the Kyshtym disaster remain forgotten. Their stories are only now coming to light as researchers uncover the true extent of the tragedy. The disaster serves as a reminder of the human cost of nuclear accidents and the importance of remembering those who suffered in silence. Fukushima's lessons are shaping the future of nuclear energy. Improved safety systems, better emergency planning, and greater transparency are now standard in the industry. The disaster also highlighted the need for flexible energy systems that can withstand natural disasters. As the world seeks cleaner energy sources, Fukushima's legacy will guide future decisions. Today, Chernobyl has become an unlikely tourist destination. Visitors from around the world come to see the abandoned city of Pripyat and the remains of Reactor 4. Guided tours offer a glimpse into the past and a chance to reflect on the consequences of nuclear disaster. Chernobyl's transformation into a site of remembrance and education is a testament to the enduring fascination with its story. Debate over nuclear power continues. Supporters argue that it's a vital source of low-carbon energy, while critics point to the risks of accidents and waste. The disasters we've explored today highlight both the promise and the peril of nuclear technology. As the world faces new energy challenges, the lessons of the past will shape the choices of tomorrow. Behind every nuclear disaster are countless stories of loss and resilience. Families were uprooted, communities were shattered, and lives were forever changed. Remembering the victims is essential to understanding the true cost of these tragedies. Their experiences remind us of the importance of safety, transparency, and compassion in the face of disaster. As we conclude our journey through the world's deadliest nuclear disasters, one thing is clear: nuclear power is both powerful and dangerous. Each tragedy has taught us valuable lessons about safety, transparency, and the need for constant vigilance. The future of nuclear energy depends on our ability to learn from the past and prioritize the well-being of people and the planet. Thank you for joining us on this important exploration.